My name is Kingsley, Komla, Elikem, Mortey. Welcome to the Ndc Forum. In a few minutes, my panelists will be joining me, and we will do this one more time.
Come on! The victory of Mahama!
Ghana is at an important juncture in its history, and the decision that we make on 7th December is going to reflect on the future of this country. In the last Afrobarometer survey, more than 80% of Ghanaians said that our country is going in the wrong direction. If you are walking or you are driving and you are going in the wrong direction, what do? You change your course. And that is why on 7th December, Ghana must change course. We cannot solve the crisis in which we are with the same people who caused the crisis in the first place. The youth of this country don't have 4 years to waste. The youth of this country are in a hurry to create the opportunities that will make them live a dignified life. The youth of this country want an experienced hand. They want a safe pair of hands. They want a hand that they have seen do it before to come back and take this country and rescue us from the mess in which we have been dumped by the Akufo-Addo government. 4 years of a good leader will make more impact than 8 years of a dishonest leader. It's not about how long you serve. It is about how well you serve. It's not about 8 years or 4 years. It is about hard work. It is about truth. It is about trust. And it is about doing the things that will create a future for our young people. And that is why the NDC is calling on you on 7th December to do your duty to your God and country so that we can turn this nation around. And so on this occasion, as the leader and flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, I declare the campaign, NDC campaign for 2024 election duly launched. I have done my best and done so with the best of intentions for my God and my country. I'll allow history to be the judge of how I have served my nation.
One day on television, I will kneel down and say, Mahama, I am sorry. And someone may kafa no house, I was an angel.
Say one day,
Mahama was an angel.
Mahama kafra. Mimi this in you, but I stand for the truth. Mahama, sorry.
Oh, I'll take this opportunity to apologize to the former president. I mean, His Excellency John Mahama.
And yesterday, I was bold to apologize to President Mahama because he's a fine gentleman.
Corruption, the number of times 10. Mahama, they see the Facha Ghana for the Facha and the Facha me.
The 5 years to upper your mama chopper, but who the physical? Maybe the Japan show. My body baby, the mama, my body baby.
Missing someone make a kafa Mahama who pa that time you piece of Mahama you from what you say. Na Mahama angel.
Me dia me koto abana mejina polling station was say 3 days me jina ho me hwe ye na ye de ani di akire uyi one afakosoro na ye na ye county empa ne abo December 17 nemla ya sen yansa kokromoti no ya sharp ya de ekomo ne ahokire yi na de guso na ye de ajankrofo bi kwan odi oh ba omi ade me catch and say why ade we twa ne 8 years awie won kwa home One quarter fee na one to fuel. Any so no one to electricity. Na who said ya ablaboya dying. Me dia me koto abana. Mejina polling station was
Yo, yeah, that we be asking some other kind who and that's also be thank you everybody. My name is Kingsley, Komenda Elikem Mortey. We are here today. Very soon we'll be diving into many of the topics that have been discussed widely this week in Ghana, and this is Ghana's politics, and this year we have a beautiful election coming up, and we continue to work and make sure that the decency of the people of Ghana, the love that the people of Ghana have for their country continue to stay. And the only way that we can continue to do that is to continue to speak. And we are allowed to speak. And that is all that we can do. As a people, as a country, we have to continue to speak. We don't want violence to destroy our nation. And so if we don't want violence to destroy our nation, then hey, this is what we have to continue to do as a people. Discuss our matters, have disagreements, and agree in some cases. And then we continue to go. My panelists will be here in a minute.
Government of Ghana project.
And if any project no. Yeah, to two form and never free so. Munko record say Mets kwaje Bosiano the bay entertain your kind. And no free so. And be piaba. Father Kofi de will cry na ye. Na piaba. Interested.
Influence so many way.
Yeah, we. And this baby. Why you? And I'm saying BBT and Vansa. One better so why you?
MPP by influence so no moon years so full line touching.
Or we are how to say, and can come on to say. Tema dear, scandal. What was this scandal?
Tema crowd where we are, sir. Tema where we are, sir.
Mr. Tema, this scandal and this is cattle. As a dear who answer. Korean cry. Where near Massaman, who be ya, a dead Santi.
A Santin benefited from him.
Now, dear, you. So they say, you're trim.
Your baby two form.
1 or 2 years. Mama, Papa, what is it?
Papa,
I could father.
Oh, you're president of the nation.
Yes, I mean, Ghana. Nana, Santa Hen. Inyamia, Santa Hen. Nam Papa.
Not even president of the nation. Not even President Kufuor.
What's your body now? Now you're nipa. What's your bo? Yes, I draw near Bri. Saturday, Sante. Come we go to Castle. Yeah, Netikwan and Basso or the Quano. Yayo. Basso with the Yakwan. Dabay and it's not. Dabay and it's not. Mama, hospital, yes. Yeah, by a crime.
All right, the same video, Nanka, I won't hear say can be, but you see, as the people that we are, as a country that we stand, we continue to do these things and discuss every single time. So, let's get into our topics for today. We are aware. I mean, recently, President John Dramani Mahama held a presser with pressed folks, and where he took questions from the press people, follow-ups came, several questions. I was amazed that this President Mahama stood on his feet and then took several questions. And one of the questions that came to him was this question that about the issue of the Airbus. And so we'll dive into that. But let me play his response, and then I play the presser that the special prosecutor held this week.
Led to the Airbus scandal. Thank you.
A lot of allegations were thrown against me. I've been out of office for 7 years and 7 months. You think that if this government had anything they could stand on with how they hate my persona, they would not have prosecuted me for it. Airbus, the president referred it to the OSP, and the OSP is supposed to investigate it. You don't expect me to investigate myself. And so, if they had something to stand on, I'll not be standing here today. The same thing, hotel in Dubai. I challenged them. I said, let's go and find that hotel. I myself am in need of money. We'll find it. We'll sell it. You give me my small share, and government can take the rest. Till today, $10 million for diaries. President Akufo-Addo himself said it, that my government has spent $10 million to import diaries. They've been in office for 7.7 years. Where is the $10 million for diaries? And so I've challenged the MPP and the mudslinging and the lies they've told about me at every juncture to come up with proof of the allegations and prosecute me. I am an adherent of accountability. And I've said anybody who serves in public office should be prepared to be accountable. And that accountability must start with myself. And if they have any allegations that they could prove, they would have done so by now. It's just a political gimmick. When elections are coming, then they start raising all kinds of issues and all that kind of thing. But I remain focused. My commitment is to fight corruption. And if I come into office, I'll hold their administration.
Led to the Airbus scandal. Thank you.
A lot of allegations were thrown.
Transport aircraft from Airbus followed substantially the same pattern. Parliament approved the proposed transactions in 2011. In accordance with the laws of Ghana, in the estimation of the OSP, there was nothing remarkable about the deal, and it certainly would not have found its way in the UK and US deferred prosecution agreements and made headlines around the world, but for the involvement of former President John Dramani Mahama and his younger brother of the full blood, Samuel Adam Foster, also known as Samuel Adam Mahama, and his associates, as recounted in the UK and US deferred prosecution agreements. The OSP investigation found no evidence that former President Mahama was involved or played any role in the procurement and maintenance of the agency relationship between Airbus and Foster.
All right, so let me come to you, Toby. I think that this statement is clear, and let me remind our comrades that today as well, we will be picking 5 people. Today we will try to stay by 5 people. So over the week, we have gone beyond 5, but today we will stay with 5. 5 people will be supported with data as usual, 100 Ghana cedis data for everybody. Everyone that is picked. So you just have to comment on the topics, at least 3 topics. So Toby, let's go. The special prosecutor, we all know what happened. We all know what Martin Amidu said, how Nanado himself was very interested in this case and was pushing that is to be investigated. And of course, with the new special prosecutor coming into office, Nanado again sent the matter to him and said, let's get deep into this. But of course, we all know that the outcome that the MPP and Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo were looking for which they pushed this agenda very strongly. Did this result come to you as a surprise, Chairman Richard Alija?
Yeah, thank you, Kingsley. And let me say good evening to our viewers and listeners across the world who are listening to us this evening, coming to their home with some of the hot issues in Ghana and political issues in Ghana. And it's very important that as we find ourselves in the diaspora, we also are stakeholders of whatever is happening in the country. We are not here because we decided on our own to just leave the country. We still have so much interest. We have a stake in the country, and we want to return home one day. And so we're always concerned about how the country is moving, and we want things to be done properly so that we can also have some peace when our people, our siblings, our family members who we have left over there, when they find themselves in peace. That is the only way that we can also enjoy peace. Until then, we'll have to be engaging on matters concerning everybody as a Ghanaian, so far as Ghana is concerned, and the political situation, and the political and the economic situation is. So, Kingsley, directly to your question as to whether I got surprised about the pronouncement or the findings and observations of the special prosecutor. Not at all, Kingsley. I wasn't. I've always been wondering why we keep dragging this matter. Because, look, the first prosecutor, who happened to be Martin Amidu, before he left office, he was supposed to have made a pronouncement, a sort of investigation, and come up with a report on whatever he had found. He traveled all over the place, went to the US, did investigations in Ghana as to the intermediaries related to the president. His brother happened to be Foster. He did everything, the hotels that he and his colleagues, his friends, came to stay in Ghana and all that. And then left with that evidence. The only thing he didn't do was that he never interviewed them before the 2020 elections. Remember that Nado wanted something to be said emphatically before the elections 2020 so that they can make political capital out of it. But Martin Amidu, who had not been able to invite or hear the other parties, President Mahama and the Foster, he couldn't, as a lawyer, would have made any interim report as to whether he would sort of try to indict anybody who had been mentioned in the kind of investigation or the report that we have from SFO of UK, as well as what we read from the US on the Boeing and then the Airbus saga. So clearly, Martin gave us a signal. Even when he left office, he had been writing and signaling that there was nothing. In fact, at one of his articles, he did mention that Nana Addo, I'm paraphrasing, she stopped talking about this Airbus, stop following this Airbus because the whole thing is in coma. I believe he used the word coma or comatose, something like that.
Comatose, yes.
Yeah, and Martin, to his words, I believe that he had done his best because that was the motivation. And at that time, he realized that there was nothing anybody was going to find, whether you bring an angel or Kisia Jaben or whoever that you brought to that office after him, wasn't going to find anything. So clearly that was a signal. But the MPP guys, as we have come to know them, or we have known them for long, like Jerry says, Chairman Jerry Jordan has said before, that they're the same people. For them, they like the way they are. They like twisting things. They are propagandists. They are evil in terms of coming. We've seen them from the UP time to today. So there is nothing that we could do to stop them from their tradition of smearing debt on their political opponents. That's what they live up to.
Right.
So when I happened to go on live listening to the press by Kisia Jaben, I was comfortable. I wasn't nervous at all. So I wasn't surprised when the verdict was pronounced as no evidence had been.
So you are saying that you were not surprised, even in the face of the fact that we know the record of the MPP to twist outcomes. So we saw the Attorney General himself trying everything to twist outcome in the case of Atuforsen, Jakba, and the Republic of Ghana. Even in the face of that, in the face of the fact that even under President Kufuor, we saw the twisting and machinations against Achuchi Kata, you were still not bothered.
Yeah, remember that, you see, there's one thing that we have to put our finger on as the pointer to why I felt that, there was nothing going to come out of this. The first prosecutor, special prosecutor, Matamidu,
right.
If you read the relationship that he established with the presidency, you come to realize that, look, the president was trying to push him along a certain line, and he was resisting it. If you read the Japa report that he delivered before he resigned,
right,
you could see signals like that, and he was having problems with the presidency as to his office being furnished, as to giving him the leeway, giving him the free hands to operate. He was being manipulated clearly, and he resisted it to the point of even tagging the president as the mother serpent of corruption when he went into the Japa deal.
Right.
So he left without doing the bidding of the president or the presidency. Then came Kingsley. You also come to realize that Kingsley appeared before the public at a press release, I believe early this year or last year, and he was, sounding like he was getting frustrated by the presidency. Where from that frustration, where he said, "Look, says here, dear Maya Ankonam or something like that, Ankonuma," and so you could hear a tone and a sound of somebody who was being manipulated, who the presidency was trying to manipulate, and he was resisting. And so they were giving him problems, and he came out. Otherwise, he would have come. His job is just to, you do your investigation and then bring a report. But if you could come out, the public, before your report is submitted or your findings are submitted, and anybody who listened to him very well realized that, look, the man is getting it up to his breath, and he couldn't take it anymore. So he decided to stand on his feet at that point. So I knew he wasn't going to deviate from that. I knew even before that he wasn't doing the bidding to indict falsely the former president. Therefore, part of the frustration which he came to express and cried and lamented about before the public. So when he now comes out to talk about, and I believe now get elections, I believe they were still pulling the strings, and he wanted to kill the whole thing from, as it is.
Right.
Having got some other, done his investigation, I got some additional information from the UK. And if you read his report very well, towards the end of it, at the conclusion, Kingsley, I want to read that portion. You see, it wasn't just his investigation was widely, it took it widely. So if you look at a certain portion of his report, that which interests me so much, and that is the report, briefly allow me at paragraph 6.30.
Right.
It is not only his investigation, but listen to this one. He referred to the SFO of UK, their decision as well.
Right.
6.30 said the OSP has cited and notes that by two separate communication, both dated 22nd April 2021, the SFO notified Samuel Adam Foster and Philip Sean Middlemis as follows. That's the other partner of the agents. And here's a portion of the correspondence that he had gotten from SFO in the UK. It's headed Criminal Investigation into Airbus, SE, and others. And he states, that's Airbus writing to Foster and his other colleagues. I write to notify you that following a review of the evidence in your case and consideration of the code for Crown prosecution, a decision has been made that you are not to be prosecuted for any offense in respect of the above serious fraud office investigation. Kingsley, that is instructive.
Right.
So after he, Ajabi himself, having gone through all the investigation, invited and spoken with all the parties involved in the interest of Ghana, and then concluded on his own personal investigation. He also referred to what has been established by the SFO in UK. So if you add all these two, from the one in Ghana and then the one in UK together, it means that there is nothing to talk about.
Right.
It's closed long time ago. So why are we worried about Kisia Jabin and maybe some other thing? So that is sound, and that is what is substantive, and that is what makes the former president Mahama clean. He has a clean bill of health, clean bill of nothing having found against him, in spite of all the allegations and the claims that were, for all the 2 or 3 years. When did this matter crop up? I believe it cropped up in early 2020. So one good Sunday morning in February, I believe, when the president gave us a dawn, like a morning, a release, came openly to speak about some SFO report in the UK. So he had instructed the special prosecutor then to go into investigation and see whether anybody in Ghana, in terms of the officials being referred to in Ghana, are complicit in any offense. Early morning. And you see, now that this report has come out in the course of the week last week, I was expecting the president, in the same way that he appeared before the public, would have come out immediately after this report to come and tell us something, to assure us, because that is what is fair for the president to do. If you commission and reported and complained the special prosecutor, and now he has finished his report, what are you waiting for? Be candid with us, be fair with us. Let people stop throwing the mud even after the investigation has been completed. So you, the president, is expected as a father of the nation to come and speak on this matter, because as a father of the nation, you really commissioned and assigned this job to avoid the kind of utterances and then the twists and the propaganda that is running around even after all this report. If the president has spoken or caused a release to be made from his office, I believe our own MPP guys will not be speaking about this matter even today when you go to some social media platforms. They're still speaking about it. And that is what is sad. And that is what shows that the president embarked on bad faith when it came to this. And Ghana should not be like this.
Right.
Right. And then warn the former president, to just, and God knows best. And God, like posterity, he did mention that posterity will be his judge. And it's not human beings, it's not the cause, it's not investigations, it's not the compromise cause.
Right.
That would be able to indict him. But God himself has been able to, judge him rightly and fairly. It's not within that Akufo-Addo. And we want to and appreciate some of these legal minds in Ghana. There are a few of them who have their integrity to protect, and they are displaying it even in the appeal court case against Atufosin and Japa. You saw how some credible people and people of integrity, you saw how they handle it objectively.
Right.
Kingsley.
So, all right, thank you very much. So, to put in context, this is the outcomes of the investigation of the OSP. The OSP, one, the Office of the Special Prosecutor found no evidence that John Dramani Mahama was involved in the bribery scheme or that he improperly influenced the aircraft purchase decision. The involvement of Samuel Adam Mahama as an intermediary for Airbus was seen as coincidental and not necessarily corrupt. No evidence was found that any payments received by the intermediaries were intended as bribes for Ghanaian officials. 4, the investigation concluded that the action of Airbus employees was deceptive and intended to circumvent compliance rules did not amount to bribery under the Ghanaian law. This is the conclusion of the special prosecutor. The OSP decided not to pursue criminal proceedings against any individual involved and directed the closure of the investigation. Warrants issued for the arrest of the intermediaries were rescinded, and the Interpol red notice were all withdrawn. So, unfortunately, there are still some people in Ghana currently who, for some funny reason, still believe that there are still people out there who are so ignorant. And so because they are so ignorant, they still have to throw dust into their eyes. And the only way to do that is to somehow, I don't know whether they are reading the cover of this book, this paper. I mean, it's a paper. If it was the Bible, I can understand why it would be difficult to read the cover. Then, so your ignorance could be explained. But so, Rashid, what is your take on this whole saga? For me, if you ask me 24,000 times, I will say that Nanado has caused financial loss to the country because it's completely nonsensical. And then I will come back to you and talk me to ask that, is there anybody in our Ghana politics today who have dared a government in opposition, dared government and say, I am here, investigate me, I am open? Rashid, what is your take?
Thank you, Kingsley. Michia, for anything. Yeah, it's here for oh baby, Kingsley, that was it. When it comes to some of these issues around the Airbus scandal, also MPP cool be a name said omono jumedi omunim ye pen, but adeɛ ma adeɛ we yɛ strong kone say yan kasa yɛ president a ɔyɛ Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ɔno na ɛhyɛ da kɔɔyɛ ɔkɔtete nsɛm sɛ ebi investigation bi kɔ so ana adeɛ we no ɔwɔ sɛ provide context kakra it all came about when Boeing sued Airbus for some fair trade sick agreement bi say bi a ɔmo default ɛno na nenam mu a na Akufo-Addo na n'abusuafoɔ no bi wɔ UK ka kyɛn sɛ nsɛnsɛm bi kɔ so wɔ UK ne yɛhwɛ a agent bi wɔ mu a ɛyɛ John Dramani Mahama ne ya yɛhwɛ mu a bi a John Mahama akɔgye bribe asɛm na ani o like estati say ya nyɛ sɛ bi a ɔmo te sɛ wɔ ne nyɛ bi agent ma Airbus ana Nana Addo ɛhyɛ da say sa office of the special prosecutor so many who be some America say the office of the special prosecutor no you said that say just for Saudi way the main purpose or the underlying principle to found that OSP was this case the Airbus scandal it will be sure it can be 2 months amayako 2020 about 2 months somewhere in October Anna your friend is saying Nana Addo Eddie Assem we buy ya fedie almost started the campaign Anna government official one this answer and 7 me say election a dear NDC in Japan because said you're not MPP for count one sem Anna John Mahama the bribe Anna it's answer Ghana for any baby MPP for any baby person almost 2 for Ghana for any son nipa baby crane busem who say Assem Ben yes John Mahama the bribe na government official one near the adeno na afedie obieka to the extent say men of the enemies of Ghana no a journalist ye journalist busa questions in here you putting into contest and man for say adeɛ we ɛkɔ so no ɛte sɛn na you're finding the root cause of it you say any na afei de obiara so muka because some are planting most of the loud journalists no ɛka ana John Mahama Dubai ne just nsɛm bebree na ɔmo ka go the former president so said the ɛbɛyɛ MPP for you nim sɛ ɔmo nananom no ɔmo fa no bɛyɛ yɛ etia Kwame Nkrumah ɔmo yɛ saa adeɛ na bi etia John Dramani Mahama our minister will be a whole vision of person who movie Ghana from the day one and the competence of one person on the other to try and name me a tronic concourse and a coffee same way then a buy a same way beginning more to the extent saying Nana Addo actually that you share Ndc Forum and will be a one shut down page on Mama Assem because you ignore your bad point as running mate to John your former president Johnny Van Santanos, Martin Amidu. I didn't be share ho, say Martin Amidu, and then be sa friend office special prosecutor because him say or no already like he has some hatred for John Dramani Mahama, right? So what they never share ho obeti me aye then ama na agenda na all for film no etime din kan me de John Dramani Mahama akọ court ama even for your prosecutor asem we mu no obi Martin Amidu obi in the stance asem we nti no ohwe saa na ohun niema bi ekokọ so tutu kwan said ye be obi say asem we dey ahya me say me be yi die chale mitirimu ntie me fonte no mesraw na asem adwuma we dey mentimi nye biem because nneɛma bebree kora asi a scandals ɛkɔ so a ɛwɔ sɛ yɛtwa yɛn ani scandals ɛkɔ so wɔ awa mu anim sɛ evidence nie yɛnhwɛ ne yɛn kan no Nana Addo so daabi saa Airbus scandal na mpɛ sɛ woyɛ na wogu John Dramani Mahama anim ase ɛma ɔde awerɛhoɔ ne ɛyi saa resign yɛ ɔresign koraa ne nyɛ easy o wonim sɛ mmerɛ bi na ɔsɛ yɛ mo pɛne ku no because of sɛ ɔresign as office of the special prosecutor menim sɛ Kingsley Ukaya Martin Amidu na MPP foɔ yi a taataa no because of sɛ ɔresign wɔ information bi ne ade afei deɛ wɔresign awie yɛnya evidence bia against a former president ana ɔkɔfa ɔno ani twitwo mutu two kisi agya abɛn ɛne sɛ nnura akyi ya no conclude biribiara de abɛto wɔ sɛ saa nkontompo no a yɛ former president Nana Addo ne di anim o Nana Addo ne di anim a ne executive secretary ɛnɛ wɔyɛ ambassador at large ɛtwerɛeɛ ɛkɔma special prosecutor ne attorney general sɛ hey the former president wakɔgye bribe adeɛ baako a Ghanafoɔ journalists ne MPP foɔ ne bi confuse Ghanafoɔ ne sɛ wɔsi yɛte aseɛ sɛ the fundamental principle of this case was about bribery and corruption. And more beyond that, I would say conflict of interest. And I said, this is Debbie. Now, I don't know. He has some preemptive thoughts. Say, John Mama, je bribe. The case in India, I don't know. It's young question. What je bribe? What je dem would ye? Who say, Linia and agents. Anna a BM no clarification. Be was here, yeah, near educated Ghana for more Matthias. And say, Adam Foster. No. Contract no na omaji kra wi ansana former president Ebabe vice around 2009 na ya de bia Ghana military for no ayi bibia to a contract na wo de ama friend say Airbus ana no so Airbus for agents we agent what procure nyema bebre through Airbus for other countries even about more than 10 countries in Africa Sri Lanka Asia and Europe nyina why say adwuma no nti na yɛ adwuma bi a ɛwɔ so wɔyɛ den wɔyɛ nhwehwɛmu kɔ so na Airbus hu sɛ yɛ friend saying oh Ghana hɔ ayi na wɔyɛ no yɛate sɛ unia bi advice wonim sɛ ɔmo ma ne resign from that contract no because of conflict of interest ɔmo ma ne twɛn ho ebesi nkyɛn
right
nti ɛnɛ ɛma Ghana ni bi ambɛdaadaa wɔ sɛ ɔmo realize sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ wɔyɛ politically exposed no oyi no every case no mu e ma ne to aso bɔkɔ but esan say MPP fo ne Nana Addo pɛ sɛ ɔmo sei nipa bi a wo vision ma Ghana nipa o pɛ sɛ owi Ghana free san kwaso we mu ne dream die we mu ekɔ baabi foforo na make sure say sika bi e wɔ ne yɛde bɛyɛ mpuntundwuma ma Ghana no ɔmo bɛ say the former president din ɔmo bɛ say ne din to the extent say yɛ ka hwe yɛn ka me say last week ya before say case yi bɛba I believe say the same day and I say a day before na omo friend communicators ni biti radio so ka say your former president you corrupt ana Airbus scandal ni ade am I even cry ono sa nipa no you put in the right place doctor bi on where azan ni bi ono be catch your former president say ono ni corrupt and ye koye 8 year mu ya MPP ba ya former president kotena fi hwenipa amode atro ni nkontompo ni corruption bribery ni saa nneɛma no atoto no so no 8 years ni ɔno ha bɛgyina simpie so aka kyerɛ sɛ mede me ho amma mo mede me ho abɔ afɔdeɛ deɛ mpɛ sɛ moyɛ me bia monyɛ nhwɛmu bi a ɛwɔ sɛ moyɛ no monyɛ me Dubai ɛdan a mesisi no nyinaa mesrɛ mo ma yɛnkɔ na monkɔkyerɛ me ka mede bɛma Ghana mɛtɔn kora de sika no ma Ghana
sɛ me Dubai ne me ɛdan mesisi Dubai na monkaeɛ
no mo se sɛ Kingsley na meka sɛ 7% kyerɛ sɛ ɔno ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkyerɛ sɛ saa Dubai na bi wɔ a wode monkɔ ɔbɛtɔn de sika no nyinaa kora ma GOG government of Ghana sɛ Ghana mfa yɛnkɔɔfo wei ɛntimi amba yɛnkɔɔfo wei atena wɔ atiti ɔmo tiri ho to the extent sɛ na ɔmpɛ sɛ ɔmo de yɛ minority leader ɛfa saa deɛ no ankɔsi baabiara afei deɛ nyame a ɔmpɛ bɔne ɛne sɛ nyankopɔn ho ɔba abɛyɛ adeɛ ama no ayɛ fa ɔma mo yɛ fɛfɛɛfɛ ɛma nipa bebree koraa n'anim gu ase hwɛ yɛnka bi nhyɛ mu ɔno ara ne dɔba OSP abɛyɛ analysis of the issue sɛ adeɛ wɔ evidence biara ni hɔ bribe sɛm biara nim bibiara nkɔ so but wo de hwɛ the nsɛnsɛm a wɔn akeka ɛne nneɛma a wɔn asɛe no ana me de bia meka sɛ nti asɛm wɔ yɛ gya ama no ada saa sɛ mutumi sɛe nipa din saa mutumi sɛe nipa din di na tɛm abira mu nim sɛ yɛ nkontompo mu pɛ tumi kakra agye nti no mabɛkeka nsɛm wei nyinaa to ne bi nti Nana Addo deɛ na ɔba abɛka akyerɛ yɛn bi mu because case wei special prosecutor adi bank even koraa no wohwɛ foreign US ne UK a wɔn nyinaa se asɛm wei any stance nti yɛ deɛ yɛntumi nkyɛ sɛ sɛ ni sɛ ɛnɛ yɛabɛgye atoma ma wɔn a special prosecutor na bɛka sɛ the former president we clean yɛka sɛ obi a ɔyɛ incorruptible obi a ɔnkyɛ sɛ ɔno wɔde ne ho abɔ afadeɛ waka akyerɛ mu sɛ ɔno corruption ne adeade no ɛyɛ adeɛ a n'abɛn mu koraa no obi yɛ bi a osi ɔma nipa no koraa kɔ obi koraa de n'ano kaa sɛ obenya $1 million ɛno koraa oyi ne firi mu nti nipa wei adan na ɛwɔ sɛ yɛde corruption ɛfrafra no ɛde bɛfefa n'ano sɛ wɔyɛ corrupt nti ɛnɛ yɛnya nkɔ baabi a yɛnya nto aba no within Nana Addo na favorite OSP no waba abɛkyerɛ sɛ saa nsɛm na wɔka kyerɛ John Dramani Mahama no nyinaa ne yɛatwerɛ ne nkontompo nti mi deɛ mesrɛ mo Ghanafoɔ hɛ MPP foɔ no sɛ yɛa ne anim wɔn MPP foɔ wɔn nyɛ ade foforɔ biara ma yɛn kontompo atwerɛ na daase ya na wɔde yɛ nipa ɛkeka nsɛm bebree kyerɛ ɛyɛ o Kingsley mi si mehwɛ 2020 yɛkɔ 2020 election nipa nsɛm a wɔn bɛkaeɛ Abraham mo bɛtena ase 4 years mo ntumi anka nsɛm papa biara nkyerɛn a mo baeɛ mo ntumi anbɛka sɛ o man we say ne sɛ yɛde na kɔ court ama na kyɛ sɛ bibie ni hɔ nti yɛatwerɛ ne nada nti Ghanafoɔ yɛbɛhwɛ sɛ asɛm wei nyinaa nkɔkwa nti ne yɛka kyerɛ mo sɛ wei yɛ evidence kyerɛ sɛ yɛ former president John Dramani Mahama he is incorruptible obi a corruption ne dwuma die koraa deɛ ɔnsoso so nti mesrɛ mo hwɛ na mo to aba ma no mbɛkye saa MPP foɔ akɔmfo wei nyinaa
Mema Paul nkasa kakra ansa na Paul was
yes sir mama yɛmfa yɛto yɛaba no ɛmfa ma ɛyɛ John Dramani ayɛ
Paul de Suso Paul is on mute. Paul. Paul is not here.
It's sad. It's terribly sad. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Paul is here. Paul, on the matter of Airbus. Oh, Paul, you are killing us today. On the matter of Airbus.
I'm driving, so okay.
Then when you stop, let me know and give me some 5 minutes before you enter into meeting. Paul and the branch.
So I can speak. Let's go.
Okay, cool. You know the matter we are dealing with. Kisia Jabi said
transport aircraft from Airbus followed substantially the same pattern. Parliament approved the proposed transactions in 2011. In accordance with the laws of Ghana, in the estimation of the OSP, there was nothing remarkable about the deal, and it certainly would not have found its way in the UK and US deferred prosecution agreements and made headlines around the world, but for the involvement of former President John Dramani Mahama and his younger brother of the full blood, Samuel Adam Foster, also known as Samuel Adam Mahama, and his associates, as recounted in the UK and US deferred prosecution agreements. The OSP investigation found no evidence that former President Mahama was involved or played any role in the procurement and maintenance of the agency relationship between Airbus and Foster and his associates.
So, Paul, the special prosecutor was clear and said that they found absolutely nothing. And this came after, of course, the NDC saying that former President John Dramani Mahama is incorruptible. He is blamed. He has no sin on his hand. He has no corruption on his hand. The NDP people keep saying and keep rehearsing these statements that, oh, he's corrupt. But of course, if you remember, Osafo also told us some time ago that everything they said against John Dramani Mahama when they were in opposition was just mere perception. So what is your take on the fact that the special prosecutor has cleared John Mahama of any wrongdoing?
Okay, thank you very much, Kingsley. And I'm grateful to be here this afternoon, evening, morning, whoever is watching us from. Well, I mean, there's something we say that truth can never be shadowed with lies. This is a clear classical case of truth that can never or will never be covered with darkness. For me, as far back as 2017, 2018, when this issue started, I have consistently stated that this case was a case that we refer to as a dead case on arrival. Why did I say so? Because around 2017, 2018, when the special fraud office in UK, the US, they all started looking at it, and the court document that was available clearly stated that the allegation or whatever they were raising was an issue of case that was brought against Boeing, against Airbus. So they were going into it to find out what were the issues, because Boeing thought Airbus was making sales, and the sales they were making, because they were bribing people, getting agents who are dealing with other countries. That is why they are making sales more than them. That is why the special fraud office in the UK and the US, the US Justice Department wanted to look into this case. Well, it is their responsibility and duty to do that. They did that, but let's put it on record. As my comrade Rashid said, Adam Mahama or Adam Samuel Adams or Samuel Adams or Samuel Mahama, whatever you want to call him, let's all understand that he is an agent dealing with airbag long time before even Ghana decided to purchase those aircraft that has become an issue which has exposed the MPP badly. Because he was an agent, he's been dealing with other countries, not only Ghana. And let's also put on record that the special prosecutor's report clearly stated that before Airbus will engage the services of Adam Mahama and his friends, before then, the Ghana government has already completed with all necessary transactions in relation with this aircraft purchase. Number two, let it also be on record that Samuel Mahama, whichever way you want to call it, let's go by Samuel Mahama, was working with these people. It is his field. He's a pilot, and he has been engaged in these services because it's a specialized services. You can't just stand up and then just say you are going to it. So he's been doing this business for a long time. It's not because his brother was a vice president. That is why he really quickly ran to register to become part of this or to be an agent for this deal. Let's also put it on record, number three, that people are asking, as my comrade Rashid said, the mischief and the propaganda some of the media houses and the MPP communicators are playing is that why should he be the person to negotiate for this deal? Let's put it on record that if you are a vice president, you are the council, the chairman of council for the army and the police. So therefore, at the time that Ghana needed those aircraft, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was the vice president, and it falls under his jurisdiction and his office to ensure that we get a good deal for the Ghana Armed Forces to purchase a better airplane to help them engage in their operations. For me, this mischief, propaganda, dead on arrival case, which I've always stated anytime I meet this our colleagues from the other side, has been proven by the special prosecutor. The fact and the fundamental is that there's no any proof of corruption or corruption-related case in this whole case. This case is dead. This case has come to prove that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama indeed is uncorruptible. You can never corrupt him. He's a very, very diligent person. He has love for his country. He has never been corrupt, and he will never be corrupt. For me, I am happy that the special prosecutor, Kingsley Ajaben, who is, by the way, my mate, we all attended Accra Academy, has, defied all odds and be able to be a man of his own, to stay the fast as it is. I also want to put on record that, as Rashid said, I want to also emphasize on it. Some of the media houses in Ghana are the cause and the problem of Ghana. They are the people who have caused Ghana to be where we are today, because they refuse to speak truth and refuse to let our brothers and sisters who are the grassroots to understand the things that are going on. When this Airbus case arose in 2020, it became a topical issue in most of the radio stations. Peace FM is number one. They try to, paint our former president, the upcoming or the incoming president of Ghana, very, very black. Try to let people understand that he's corrupt, he took bribe, and God being so good, God has vindicated him. Once again, posterity is judging us all as Ghanaians. I am happy that the special prosecutor has put his record and his report out there, which is very, very detailed. There is no way our friends from the MPP can use this thing to play mischief, to misinform, mislead, and throw dust into the eyes of the good people of Ghana. I have stated, and I continue to say, that this year's election, the MPP has been corrupt to a level that they know and they are afraid that if they hand over power, they will be going to jail. So they want to do everything in their power to hold on to power. And in their mind, they were thinking they could have used this mischievous, cheap propaganda as a tool against His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. His Excellency has stated emphatically that he is never corrupt, he is not corrupt, he can never be corrupt. I don't think Alhaji Bawumia can state emphatically, clear, like what our incoming president has done. For me, we thank God once again that God has vindicated His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and for now he's looking even more acceptable in the eyes of the floating voters, because they've seen that this man has been blamed with no cause. They've put in lies on him. They've thrown a lot of debt on him, which has happened not to be true. For me, anything that happens, we give thanks to God. I am happy that the final verdict has come out. It has been stated clearly that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was not involved in any corruption deal. There's no any leakage, or there's no any evidence to show that Airbus paid bribe to his brother, someone Mahama, which extended to him. I am happy all these records have been stated. For me, Kingsley, let's thank God. And I want to use this platform to urge all communicators at the NDC level or NDC party. Let's ensure that we don't allow these evil NPP people to use these other propaganda tools to throw death on our incoming president. Now that the Airbus plan has failed, they will try to use other plans to throw death against His Excellency, which is not going to work. For me, we know the truth, and the truth is that 2024, His Excellency on 7th December will be voted to be the next president of Ghana. And let all of us work as a team. Let all of us put our hands on the deck. Let's make sure we spread the good news Let's talk about the 24/7. Let's talk about the good policies and initiatives that His Excellency will be introducing to alleviate the suffering that we are going through as people. For me, this judgment once again is a blessing for all of us. Let's thank God. And as I stated the last time, this election is not between NPP, NDC, or NPP, CPP, or NDC, CPP. This election is about Ghana and the evil NPP Acheampong. Let's ensure Ghanaians we fight and take our country back. Let's ensure, as Ghanaians, we all go out in our numbers to vote and protect the vote and make sure that the vote is counted, and until John Mahama is declared winner, we should not leave the polling station. Because these evil Acheampong, they will do everything within power. They will do everything to try to rig this election. But we are ready for them. And it is vigilance and readiness and preparedness, which I believe we are all prepared and vigilant to ensure that nothing is turned upside down. We will work very hard. We are going to contribute to ensure that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama become the victor at the end of it all. And I'm happy, and I am very, very happy. On Thursday morning when I got up and I was listening to the news, and I heard Kisa Jabin presenting his report. That 25-page report is a report that I hear caused the president to run away from the office, was very upset because they were thinking they could have used it to destroy Mahama. But rather, it has gone against them. For me, let's all of us give thanks to God. And I want to state on record that, once again, the 2024 election is between we Ghanaians and the few evil Acheampong who are trying to take Ghana away from us. Thank you, Kingsley.
Thank you so much, Paul. And I'm excited. I'm glad. I think we are all on the same page here with respect to the machinations of the MPP. And this is what John Mahama said before the whole investigation anyway.
Led to the Airbus scanner. Thank you.
A lot of allegations were thrown against me. I've been out of office for 7 years and 7 months. You think that if this government had anything they could stand on with how they hate my persona, they would not have prosecuted me for it. Airbus, the president referred it to the OSP, and the OSP is supposed to investigate it. You don't expect me to investigate myself. And so, if they had something to stand on, I'll not be standing here today. The same thing, hotel in Dubai. I challenged them. I said, let's go and find that hotel. I myself am in need of money. We'll find it, we'll sell it. You give me my small share, and government can take the rest. Till today, $10 million for diaries. President Akufo-Addo himself said it, that my government has spent $10 million to import diaries. They've been in office for 7.7 years. Where is the 10 million?
Paul, let me start with you just some few minutes, and then I can go to Rashid and before Togbi. Togbi, because these two gentlemen will be leaving us soon. I wanted them to have their say before they join their meeting. So let me start from Paul, then I go to this. On the matter of Komenda Sugar Factory, the MPP government, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his people have decided to lease the Komenda Sugar Factory out for $1 million per year. I was trying to pull the video up so that we can play it. Unfortunately, I see the struggle on the face of Katie Hammond to justify or to try to poo-poo the whole thing, and I was just laughing in my head. But Paul, your take on that matter?
Thank you very much, Kingsley. I think our Katie Hammond is a comedian, and he remains to be a comedian. You understand me? The question that is being asked is that, what are the details of the contract that he said they are signing with the management team from India? Look, the Komenda Sugar Factory should have gone to operation long time ago. Yes, His Excellency under the office of the NDC, we put at the factory, test transmission was done, everything showed successfully. What was left was we're looking for loan to give to the farmers to be able to plant the sugar cane that they will need to be able to go or start production. That was where we got to when we left office. Because of political advantage, if the MPP had given those loans to the local farmers to produce those sugar canes, the factory should have been in operation and we would have reduced our import of sugar into the country, which would have saved the dollar, which always goes down, which is always depreciating. But because of political gain, if they do it and they allow it to happen, people will give credit to Mahama, so they decided to allow the sugar factory to go unattended to all these years. Well, the spokesperson on trade has made it clear, and he has sent a warning note to, the management team from India that they should be careful what they are going into, because the next NDC government, which inshallah is coming into office, will scrutinize and abrogate any deal that's not signed in the interest of the good people of Ghana. For me, you've allowed this factory to go rotten for all these years. Now, you want to give it out. This is some of the, what you call, loot, create, and share. Kingsley, I will not be surprised that if you go into details of those people behind this deal, who went and brought these Indians who are come to take over the management of the factory, it will be the same Acheampong. I will not be surprised if you go behind them and do the search in the Register General and try to go into details to find out who people are behind it. For me, whatever we are going to do to bring that factory back into production, to create jobs for our people in Komenda, we should do it. I just want to also state that the visionary leader has promised, if they don't put it into operation, as soon as we take power, that factory will go to operation, and the people of Central Region Komenda will have jobs to do. For me, the jokes KTM is playing, and when you ask him a simple question, he will be, joking around and all those stuff, tells you how incompetent, aimless, visionless, and corrupt this Nanado government is. For me, once again, this Komenda Sugar Factory alone should let our brothers and sisters in the Central Region know how wicked this MPP government are. If they really, really love the people of Central Region as they claim today, they will not allow that factory to go idle, rotten, sitting down with nothing for the past 7 years. I'm happy because they know the 2024 election is at stake. They are there and they are trying to throw dust into the eyes of the people of Cape Coast Central Region, a Kumfi, a commander, to let them tell them that, oh, they are about to open the factory. So vote for us, we are bringing job to you. Let me address our people in a Kumfi, commander, sorry, not a Kumfi, commander, that this is another 419 game that the NPP is playing with them. They are just trying to do this thing to get their vote. If they make the mistake and they vote for this super incompetent Baumia and Nampo, that factory will still remain unfunctional. It will never go into operation because they hate anything that Mahama has done. And they are ready to do anything to ensure that any project that Mahama's signature is on will go waste, will go rotten. This is what I have to say. Thank you, Kingsley.
All right, thank you, Paul. It's all right. Let me go to Rashid. Rashid, your take on this matter?
Yeah, Kingsley, you see, when these MPP people, I don't know what is wrong with them, because we remember very well in 2016 when the former president, John Dramani Mahama, was going to commission the Komenda Sugar Factory. We saw what the MPP communicators, including Nanado, were saying and speaking against the Komenda Sugar Factory that John Dramani Mahama is doing because of Kwame Nkrumah here and there. And this MPP people will never cease to amaze us because it's the same strategy they did with the Ameri deal. That's what they are trying to implement here. Because they know NDC is having this flagship policy of 24-hour economy, which I believe will be initiated through our existing industries and factories in Ghana before we start building others. So they want to sell Komenda Sugar Factory, which can provide jobs for about 73,000 people in the central region. And I don't know what they did. I don't know the analysis that they did, the cost-benefit analysis, whatever they did. I don't know why they concluded to sell Komenda Sugar Factory. I don't know if there was some kind of, I don't know. But this Minister of Trade, K.T. Hammond, he thinks Ghana belongs to him. As my senior comrade said, he's just a joker. He's someone who even talk as if Ghana belongs to him. And these people are the ministers and the men that the MPP have. You want to sell Komenda Sugar Factory to some Indians, not even Ghanaian, right? Indian. You have about less than 5 months to the election, and you want to undergo this kind of deal. They have some hidden agenda within this, and I trust John Dramani Mahama very well, declaring that whatever deal that the what's the name of that company, the Indian firm, I've forgotten the name, but whatever deal that they get into it, whenever he comes, he will make sure that he cancel it. Because why on earth will Nanado lead K.T. Hammond to go and sell the Komenda or lease out? They will say lease. We all know what lease is, but it's about selling it outright. They don't even want us to see the document, the contract, whatever is in it, but they are saying it's lease. No, this is not acceptable. And the good people of Ghana, and especially the central region, they need to rise up and go against some of these projects. Why will you do this? Because, Kingsley, come to think of it, we have less than 5 months to the election, and what you can do is to sell Komenda Sugar Factory for what exactly? I don't even understand. For what exactly? Instead of you to come and build some project for us or some additional factories for us, you are here selling whatever the NDC have been building. This is what we know the MPP for. They will be changing names of NDC's projects. They will be selling NDC's projects, and even to the extent that they will go and make sure that after they are done with Ghana, nothing will be left for the typical or the average Ghanaian. Why will you do that? And looking at the interview between the Joy FM, or is it City or Joy FM, and the Minister of Trade, K.T. Hammond, he was being asked substantive questions, but this man is not even answering those questions. But whatever he said, yeah, we need to say it's defunct here and there, and he's even lying with some figures here and there. Come on, Ghanaians, we need to rise up. This is the MPP we asked for. They have been in power for almost 8 years, and they want to lease the Komenda Sugar Factory, which we know was a project dear to our former president, John Dramani Mahama, which will be implemented as part of our flagship program, the 24-hour economy. So these people want to play, and they want to play evil against Ghana. So we should rise up and make sure that come December 7th, we will vote for the former president, John Dramani Mahama, to come and seek some form of accountability for the good people of Ghana. So Kingsley, this sale or this lease they are talking about, I believe the company is also, is it Watco? Is it? I've forgotten the name, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that company, West African Water, they need to sit upright and just withdraw from that deal. I believe a word to the wise is enough. Thank you, Kingsley.
Thank you very much. Let me go to Chairman Richard Alija on this matter. Chairman Alija.
Yeah, Kingsley. Thank you.
Yeah. Komenda Sugar Factory.
Yeah, there is a factory on my heart. I've been thinking about it, and it's worrying to me. And there is a factory, and for our people to get jobs, at least from one region to the other, one zone to the other, and even across the country, these are the things that we need to do. Because when you go into the industrialized world, we'll talk about a big industries in here in the US. And in fact, even in the US, when you go to the industrial areas, for example, where I live in, or wherever anybody lives, you go to certain industrial small towns, you find individuals running industries. Some people are fabricating classrooms by metals, aluminiums, and all that to supplement or as a stopgap for our schools, middle school, primary schools, by installing them on campuses temporarily as they transit into actual structures. These are being done by individuals and small-scale companies and employing, hands to be technicians and all that, fabricators, welding and all that to put those things together. When you go to the parks, community recreational areas, those things that are put over there are manufactured by, small-scale people. You're talking about, in Florida, for example, we are known for all the oranges and the juices that are coming from here. When you go to the farms, you have, large, tracts of farms. We are the same people who produce milk. So when you go into MacArthur, for example, there is a large-scale producer of dairy in terms of milk. The farms you find cattle cows that are as large as elephants, and they are milked in gallons and barrels per day. These are ordinary family industries in terms of agric and all that. So when government decides to put up a factory, we have to pay particular attention to it and make it happen, make it work. For the sake of import substitution, because we spend a lot of money in this instance in terms of sugar, which in every household, everybody use sugar for one thing or other, for making bread and all that, for tea and cocoa and hausa cocoa, whatever, you have sugar used one way or the other. Sugar is used by the distilleries as well. Sugar is used by some chemical industries, chemists and all that, all over the place. So it's a good thing that we have our own, rather than all the time importing sugar from Brazil and other countries, India and all that. That is not helpful, because you need to convert your local currency, your local money, wherever you get it from, by taxes and all that, convert it into the currencies and use that to import these things from other sister countries and other countries. And then it puts a heavy burden on us, and then it reduces our reserves in terms of Bank of Ghana reserves, which makes the currency which makes our local currency against the international currencies stronger, depending on how much we save or retain in our national reserves at Bank of Ghana. It's very important that every industry is taken, seriously. Look at the Tuabo gas factory, for example. We used to rely on Sahara oil and other imports from South Africa and all that. But when we were able to, put this together, we have a variety of fuel, including gas, liquefied, which we can fetch from our next door to power whatever we want to power across the country. And it saved us the billions of dollars that we were using to import all this from other countries. And over time, we will recoup our money and pay our loans that were contracted for this. And we become independent so far as these areas are concerned. So when we have we made a deliberate decision that, look, let's reduce our importation of sugar for consumption and for industrial purposes by going back to where it was located previously. That got run down and had to get lost, became irrelevant, so that we needed to site it over there. And there are reasons why the place, rather than any other place, became the location, the choice location for setting up the factory, to provide the jobs that people were having years ago there in Kormla and the subsequent governments, till, it got run down and the university had to, and it didn't work at all. Kingsley, that Komenda area is a catchment area for production of sugar. I have lived there before. I've lived in Agona Abrem, which is near Iguafu, and it's between Iguafu and Ankase and the Kutuase in the KEE, Komenda Iguafu, something area constituency. I lived over there, and the main job of those people is about sugarcane, cassava, and other farm products. From that area, when you go there, you realize that previously people were, and even today, they produce sugarcane, they farm sugarcane for Apetesi or other distilleries, the local ones. And I dare say that if we had even thought about building a distillery a factory over there, they would have gotten some raw materials from the farmers. We call them the outgrowers. They grow the sugarcane. In fact, they also farm heavily in cassava. So when you are from there through, you cut across into the Cape Coast, Elmina, the northern side of Elmina, and then into Jukwa, and then come towards Afrancais and Agona area, Afrancais. There's other small towns over there. They all do sugarcane. So from Komenda, if you stretch like 40 miles radius, left to right, north, like 40 miles radius, there's sugarcane farms all over the place. Because the soil is good for it, even though we're not producing in larger quantities to feed a factory. But if we intentionally empower them, train them, give them nursery, like we do for cocoa farmers, in the Eastern region, where again I had lived there before, and I work at the cocoa rehabilitation project in some areas, where I worked during vacations as a student. So you learn the seedlings, the cocoa seedlings, how to sow the seedlings, how to do the nurturing, how to apply fertilizer, how to do shrubbing, how to do ration, how to help farmers, train them, take them for in-service. They have extension service officers who attend to them and then provide them funding and provide them insecticides and all that. So that will be a kind of relationship that the company industry, in terms of government, will build with the farmers in whatever that they are doing. Again, if you come to Kade area, you have oil palm plantation. Remember in Sawam, again, all those people are my areas. In Sawam long ago, we were also doing farming from media areas all the way through to where Ganaba used to live, across him and all that, into the Akosombo areas. So you could get, that's a catchment area. Because of the Ganakan, people went into pineapple farming. Same way, because of Komenda Factory and as well as Asuchari. Because Komenda Factory, those areas over there, the farmers were producing those kind of things. And then the factory comes to buy. And that's exactly what we're trying to bring back, at least to provide jobs, to cut down the unemployment. And then the indirect jobs by the women and other people who will be providing additional services to the factory. where people, maybe if you had to travel from Accra to go and become an extension officer or become an officer at the factory, you're looking for accommodation. The factory may not provide accommodation, but you have some landlords who can rent out their houses as for their managers and get more income from how, when you rent to a company for the executives to live in, you're getting money out of that. When the women decide to be, in the morning, they want to be cooking rice or gobe, kagari, and all those frying plantains, selling those things. It's a job. But we decided, for whatever reasons that we don't want to go into it anyway, they abandoned this. You see, in test running of machinery, when you say the factory, the machines are there. They need to be test run. Again, from Tema Rehabilitation, Tema Technical Training Center, which was the name of that company, Nkrumah's industry, Nkrumah School, which deliberately established in conjunction by the Russian, what do you call it? Is it the Russian? The USSR, the Soviet Union. They gave us grant. So that we set up an engineering school over there, training people in mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and welding. These were the three departments. But it was solely funded by the Soviet Union. Then we had a printing press which didn't take off. And that was being handled by East Germans at that time. But again, after the coup, they got destroyed. And in fact, the Russians had to go. And so the whole place got abandoned, except the sections that were being handled by the Japanese. The Japanese, by their JICA, their funds, they had the textile training. They were training the textile. They had a training center, which was the textile, to feed GTP, TTL, GTMC, job on textiles. Nkrumah's job. But because they were, it was a Japanese project, they stayed. But the USSR project, got abandoned. The machines were left there. They kicked at the time by 1986. The place was kicked when Lawrence government decided to rehabilitate it. So we had to bring the Soviet, the Russians again. About 20 engineers came from Russia. We had to put up again rehabilitate the abandoned prefabrication buildings that were being put up by Nkrumah across the country in various offices, including Tema Committee 11. So we have to rehabilitate the flats, which was Nkrumah's flat, which is a prefab. That's the name. They are prefabricated buildings. So that was rehabilitated to enable the Soviet engineers who came to Tematech to live there as accommodation for all the waste. And when they came back in 1985, 86, 87, throughout till 90, when they finished their job, look, they brought new machines, they brought vehicles, they brought other things. We were able to employ additional hands as teachers and trainers from the polytechnics who had completed polytechnics with technician 3, technician 2, technician 3, others from tech. So they became the manpower in these engineering schools. Was that not providing jobs? Yes, of course. I am talking specifically about how we run down our projects. So Komenda is a very sad case. So in test running of those machines when the Russians came, I by my own experience, okay, I got to know that, look, you run a lathe machine. When you install a lathe machine, for example, you have to test it, run it, and then feed it from gutters. They come in and then they run it, they start to produce some equipment. And then they find faults here and there. Okay, this one, the water is not flowing very well. This liquid is not flowing very well. Maybe this one is knocking this. So they stop it and then try and fix it. Sometimes you have to let it settle. Like the printing press, for example, which was supposed to feed Ghana Population Corporation, when the Germans, but then they became the Germans. When they came back, they were Germans. The two had merged. So when they came in to bring the machines, when we were running it, test running, we test ran it and then left it there. And we use it to train students at Tema Technical Institute. Anybody can go and look for it. Go and find out. It's there. So with that background, for me, what happened to Komenda, which I know could have provided jobs for people from Cape Coast all the way to across Elmina to Komenda, all the way to Kusi and all those areas. Why did we do that? And from May, when we tested it, May 2016, and then I left it for a few things. A report, an audit report was set up by the new government. Safetech, and I think one of these companies, I think PW, one of the auditing companies, they wanted to find exactly what were the problems. They had a few problems with the civil engineering. They had a few of the machines which are not working very well, and they had a few of the company that was putting up the factory. They had not completed some sections of the departments that were supposed to be there. So they had to do all this, and they were compelled under the contract to finish up. So by January 2017, some of the things that they finished, still some were left uncompleted. We had staff, the security staff that were employed, they were over there. Even they were not even being paid. The salaries were, So, Kingsley, I am glad, now to the point, I am glad that the government at the tail end of the administration is trying to do something about it, to save face.
So one of the questions I was going to ask you, Toby, is that the MPP representative, Katie Hammond, in this particular case, in one of his interviews with the radio station, said that, currently the people are setting up factory with about half the cost that Ghana used to set up Komenda Sugar Factory. And so he was saying that it means that there is corruption because that the cost it seems balloon. Chairman, is it ignorance or what is it that makes people like Acheampong aware? For example, I can say to you that, Chairman, I bought a car for $20,000. So why are you telling me that you bought a car for $200,000? Like, is it that the MEP is not aware that just the fact that you say a car, it doesn't mean it's a car. Just as you say airport, doesn't mean it is airport. I remember before they came to power, they said, another country used $10 billion to do, I remember it was about $89 million to build airport. Why would we be building Accra International Airport, Kumasi Airport for $200,000? Is it that the MPP is just ignorant? Or what is it that makes them don't know how to compare apples and apples? Look, even mangoes, you can't say, because I bought my mango for 1 CD, it means all mangoes are 1 CD. Like, what level of ignorance is that?
It's a political twist. You see, here's a minister, somebody who doesn't know anything about factories and putting up factories and all that. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't know management, how to manage it. You go there and then you transfer your management skills over there, or your research skills over there. But you need to listen to the people who are the technical men on the ground, people who know exactly what is happening in the factory. You need to listen to them with open ears and open mind.
Right.
If you want to hear what you want to hear like a politician, so that you justify exactly why they close the place down, you hear that.
Right.
So it makes it very difficult for even those who are on the ground in the factory and are there for now, who are not being paid. They know what it is. They're not being allowed to speak.
Because you see, the reason why I say that is that the reason why I say this is that, for example, Joy FM, the salary of Joy FM, I want to believe that is more than the salary of Heritage FM in Hogway, for example. And so you cannot say that because Heritage FM salary is, let's say, 10,000 Ghana cedis. So Joy FM 2 must be 10,000 Ghana cedis, because like, what kind of stupidity? Like BBC operates a radio station and TV station, and so how dare they say that they are spending so much money in transmitters? How dare they say that they are spending so much into laptops? I remember somebody telling me that they wanted to buy a laptop, and I said my laptop was so much, and the person said, "What kind of laptop is that?" Like, what makes some of these people just so ignorant that they don't know that the fact that you say laptop doesn't mean all laptops are not the same. The fact that you say a car doesn't mean all of them are the same. The level of ignorance is just marvelous.
The intersections that were put up during John Mahama's time, the bridges, the roads. If you look at Circle, Overfly, and the interchange, there are two different projects. The scope, the extension, what it comes up with. The Kaswa interchange, for example, the scope, the length, a lot of things that were going to come along with the hospitals, the schools, and all that around it, in the city around it. So you cannot say that if you just build an interchange or a flyover, you want to say that they are of the same scope. They are not of the same scope. So like the vehicle that you're talking about, if you buy a vehicle and you have features that are more than somebody who's buying a vehicle, and the features are not the same as yours. It cannot be the same.
Mm.
It cannot be the same. So these are the things that are missing. They know it, but they decide to suppress it to make it look the way they want people to hear.
Because the vehicle example you just gave, in the US, for example, you can buy a Land Cruiser. You can buy, let's say, you can buy, let's say, Toyota Corolla, and it will not be the same. It will not be the same as a Toyota Corolla that is like what we call in Ghana fully loaded, which is one that comes with all components. You know. Anyway, I think that Togbe is having some technical challenge, so I will revert in a sec.
The nation builder Mahama, Brana Baya with money. Mahama, Organama 2, Mahani, Sukuwadai, hospitals, Aqua Papa, Sagana Beya, Yebediye, Yahumbatoya, Ma. 1 million jobs, Mahama, Obabeyo, Obeye, Organama 2, Mr. Lukoluko, Translate. Eyezu eyeza Ndc miawezo. Alada nizongo. Kamami ingelezo. Kana bebia.
Ayikoya putu. Sotupu. Mahani. Mahina. Anu hira.
Translate.
Atemuri inna anu nigira. Ayuri inna sabola ye.
Number two. Economy. Galamse. Youth employment. More jobs. Ghana yende. Botomunye. Translate.
Uratu. Mahama uratu. Ejo. Urta.
Organama 2.
More jobs.
Number 2.
Big push. Mahama. Ayikoya putu. Sotupu. Mahani. Mahina. Anu hira. Ayikuya.
7th December to Abanama Mahama Misrao Nipoto Misrao Mahama Organama 2 Mahani Sukuwadai Hospitals Aqua Papa Sagana Bay.
All right, Chairman, continue.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had some.
No, you're good.
Yeah, but I'll get on it. I'm using my. Yeah, we can talk. Let me see.
Yeah, go ahead. So finish up on that matter.
Yeah, let me see something. Okay, so Kingsley, let me enter studio from here.
Oh no, you can speak on this one.
I can speak. Okay.
Yeah, you are on. You are on.
I'm on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me continue.
Yeah, let me
The victory of Mahama. The victory of Mahama.
Ghana is at an important juncture in its history. And the decision that we make on 7th December is going to reflect on the future of this country. In the last Afrobarometer survey, more than 80% of Ghanaians said that our country is going in the wrong direction. If you are walking or you are driving and you are going in the wrong direction, what do? You change your course. And that is why on 7th December, Ghana must change course. We cannot solve.
All right, Chairman, let's
Exactly, thank you. I'm sorry about that. Thank you. So, yeah, I was going to say that you see, the new government, the MVP government, regarding this project, they set up a committee or a committee to look into it. A report was presented to Parliament, and they have the report here. I have a copy of that report, which talks about the report on Komenda Sugar Factory. That was ready by end of, that was submitted to Parliament on 19th October 2017. And if you read through it, it gave them exactly what they needed to do to start running a company. It actually evaluated the factory at the time. It advised the government from not running the company because it was rusting. It will rust. If you don't run it, it will rust. All these are written in the report. It's about 17-page report submitted to Parliament. And they are aware that they need it. That is when, but then we had Honorable Bryan Acheampong be the Minister of Trade. So the first step he took around 2018 was come to Parliament to respond to the Komenda Sugar Factory about looking for strategic investors. Evaluation of the factory at that time, as he mentioned, as he reported to Parliament, was evaluated at $12 million. A factory, just the EPC, the engineering, and the plants, and then the construction, which cost us a little bit over $35 million. Within 2 years, we are running down, evaluated to about 12 million. So that wasn't acceptable. Now, as of today, what KT Hammond wants to do is this. And it talks like the factory is for him. If you listen to him very well on what he was in the press, that we haven't said a contract yet. We are going to sign the contract, and this is what I want them to do. That is the investors, the WAPCO from India. They're going to produce brown sugar in India, import it to Komenda, and then refine it into white sugar. So how are the Indians going to get a brown sugar? They have farms that produce the sugarcane. They have factory that will turn the sugarcane or crush the sugarcane and then turn it into brown sugar and molasses and all that. Then we pick the brown sugar, import it to Ghana, and then run it through our machine, which also has crushers that crushes the sugarcane. So the crushers will be left abandoned if that's what they're going to do. Because that's my thinking. If you're going to bring a brown sugar to Ghana, then what are those machines that the crushers, what are they going to do?
But Chairman Richard Alija, is it? We've seen that. We've seen like Chinese tomatoes manufacturing companies in Ghana who are not buying tomatoes from anybody in Ghana, and they, of course, in this particular case, we know they are not even bringing tomatoes to Ghana anyway. So they don't care about our country.
What I am afraid of is that, you see, when we come into government January next year, January 2025, inshallah, will come to meet. If this contract, I believe, is supposed to go to Parliament, I am not sure, for it to be ratified, because we are engaging foreign entity. And according to the Constitution, Article 181, 2 or 3, the sections over there, it needs to go through parliamentary ratification. So when it gets there, I believe our people are going to stand strongly against it and make sure that this kind of contract doesn't go through before the close of this year. If it's allowed to go through and the contract is signed, we're going to go into a lot of issues with those foreign investors. But there is no way we'll allow that. There is no way the Mahama government is going to allow they have to stay, because we cannot put up a factory at that price and then also acquire vast lands, hectares of land to grow the nursery. In fact, we started growing some of the nursery, and then deny our farmers in the catchment area of producing sugarcane to feed the factory, and say that, okay, let the Indians, farmers, and their factory do the work, and then we import it here. Then why did we set up the factory? As we are speaking, Kingsley, you know that after 5 years, we have to start. The moratorium for securing the loan was 5 years. I remember 2014 to when? 2014, 2015 to now, the 5 years are already, the moratorium has already passed. And so by now we should be servicing the loan. If only we are doing that at all, because now we are not servicing any loan at all under our DDEP. We are not servicing any loan under the DDEP, locally, the domestic one, and then the foreign one. We are not servicing any loan. So all those things are certain, all those loans are certain now, waiting for the future generation to come and pay. So I don't see the reason why this is being rushed. And if it happens, it to be a disaster for us and for the investors if they dare go into it. They should read between the lines and like that. This is not the way to go. They cannot take us for granted. Again, I am happy that the local residents in the area have indicated that they've given the government 1 week, and I believe that the week is already elapsed. They resign this decision, or they'll demonstrate strongly against government in the Komenda. And I want to empower them. I want to encourage them to do so. And I will plead with our Ghanaians, wherever they are, to join hands with the people in Komenda, the parliamentarian, Honorable Samuel Atamils. They should put pressure on government to stop this kind of thing that they are doing. You see, anything that government does, when they are interested in things like this, about money, remember that on the table, they are getting some benefits out of it. Behind the table, there is something, some money, that are coming as corrupted money or corruption money to help them make some money for the election. Exactly what they are doing. But let's think about Ghana. Let's think about the Ghana people. Let's think about employment. Let's think about our own factories. If harbor rehabilitation, harbor expansion, Takoradi and Tema were taken as factories, look at the job that is creating. Look at the expansion. Look at the number of fish that I can land. Look at the savings in demurrage. Is it not a factory that is producing and employing and generating money for the country? Look at Takoradi. As we are speaking about Komenda, Kingsley, I mentioned to you that there is also the Elmina fish processing factory that was built and abandoned and now completely abandoned. By 2018, all the factory could produce was ice blocks. So the local fishermen were going there to buy ice blocks. Now they cannot produce the ice blocks anymore because the factory is not being run. And that factory should have been left abandoned. That's John Mahama's factory. Issa, let me end here, Kingsley.
All right. It is. It's actually very pathetic that the MPP government will continue to treat the people of Ghana in such a despicable manner. Let me, Baumia, just the quick one. This one is supposed to just end this whole thing. In an attempt to win an election, Baumia seems to be a statement that seems to contradict him with his own self. Baumia in 2020 said to the people of Ghana that the MPP government, this government, was the first government to reduce electricity tariffs, and electricity tariffs were so low. And then he went campaigning in 2024, just a few days ago, and then said that electricity tariffs were so high that he was going to reduce it. Here you go.
Today, our government is the first government in the whole of the Fourth Republic to reduce electricity prices. First government on net terms, when you look at where we were when we came.
Oh.
Today, Our government is the first government in the whole of the Fourth Republic to reduce electricity prices. First government on net terms. When you look at where we were when we came in and electricity prices per kilowatt today, we are about 10% lower than where we were when we came in on average.
The possibly no as the percent the electricity no go ever from Ghana. The percent electricity no go ever from. And then Ghana electricity was so because you crack oil, any gas, any producing electricity. Oil the gas was no go cost and
Sometimes I feel like Bawumia forgets himself. Does he forget that he is part of the government? What is he trying to do to Nana Addo?
Well, Kingsley, they are doing each other. Nana Addo throws in one thing, Bawumia also throws in another. And they have been contradicting themselves for a very long time. I remember they were both in Cape Coast talking about, we are building airports for you, the people of Cape Coast. And we are building new harbors, the people of Cape Coast. And then Nana Addo happened to turn around the corner to a radio station to say he knew nothing about that, and that it wasn't a project they were doing. And we verified that Bawumia was clearly lying, because they were not. He claimed we are building. It turned out that nothing like that was happening. For Alugu Dam, and many examples. So how could you be the same person, the chairman of the economic management team, the same person, at one point saying that we are the first government under this 1992 Constitution, or the Fourth Republic, to reduce taxes? Then when you turn around the corner on another day, then you go and say that electricity is so high, the price of tariff are so high that when you come into government during your administration, I'm adding that clear. Remember, that is what was your campaign platform. So he wasn't talking about now. He was talking about when, Nana Addo's table is changed for him to come onto the state. He will then start reducing the same tariffs on electricity. So what contradiction? Is he confused, or is he trying to confuse us? And I am not sure whether he has a team around him, or management team around him, who actually are advising, who may even suggest, before you go on a campaign trail, you wake up in the morning, you have to sit down with your team, campaign team, so that we know exactly how we're going to structure the campaign for the day. What are the items on our list that we're going to speak about as message to the people we're going to meet on the campaign trail? We should not just be dancing around and then whatever crops up in our mind as a flag bearer, you pour it out, and then it becomes something that we cannot defend, and there is no way you want to swallow it back, and it's not possible as well. So I don't know how they are planning, and I believe in the people. There are some senior people that were mentioned as members of the campaign team. I heard Dan Boche. Dan Boche, as former General Secretary, and he's been an experienced politician. He's been there from day one as student leader, transitioned into this government MPP, founding member of the MPP, now being the campaign chairman. I believe that is it. We have Nana Acheampong in the camp. We have Komenda Sugar also part of the team, if I am not mistaken. As for the small boys like Miracle and Dennis, those are chinchina boys who don't know anything. These babies who don't know anything, just shout. I can forgive them. But Bawumia himself, and those management team members, the campaign team members, what are they doing to this man? Don't they review after a day's campaign, sit down and review how they performed, what messages they passed around. I am not a trained campaign consultant, but at least I can do this with finesse, with neatness, so that when my campaign my candidate speaks, I'll be proud of it. And if he goofed along the line, we'll return home, get to the board, our drawing board, and make sure that we fine-tune things and we don't repeat the mistakes. But we keeps on repeating the same mistake. I believe he did mention about the e-levy. He said one thing some time ago, and now on the campaign trail, say another thing. That's also contradictory. Why should we do that? What's the reason they are giving us?
Yeah, first he said that to him it would be bad fit to tax Momo because these people who use Momo for the most part are poor people and that they should not be taxed. And then when they came, that was pre-elections. And when they came to elections, he said, "Nah, lie."
Yes, you all agree with him.
And then they taxed them. And then he enjoyed the money, and then now that he's about to run, he said, "Oh no! When I come, I will take it off again. I will take it off."
Does he have to come? Is he not in the power? Is he not the deputy?
He said he's only a mate too.
If president decides to go on holidays today, is he not the president?
No, he's a mate. So
if president decides to travel today, is he not the president?
No, he's a mate.
I will not take that myth.
He doesn't know how to drive. He's only
if you are a principal, if you are principled, the Constitution regards you as a deputy. In the absence of the president, you act, and you have your defined responsibilities, your duties as a chairman of the economic emergency. So you have your area, and you must make your presence and your authority and your know-how be felt. You do not dodge or run away into something in the abstract, like digitalization. That is not the area. We didn't know you for IT. We knew you for economics. And that's why Ghanaians added you to the House ticket to vote for NPP. So you cannot move away from it and go and do something else. And we're talking about drones. Monaco, flying drugs, and anti-snake venom, those kind of things. And then be, talking about toilets. That is not your job. Toilets belong to district assemblies. So allow the assemblymen and their leaders to talk about that. So you cannot find. He doesn't know exactly where he belongs. I don't know why they have brought him for us to vote for him to become our president. Clearly, we are lost as a country. If we decide to do that, then we have gambled and sold this country away. And we'll be in perpetual difficulty forever. Because there is somebody who has been flipping and flopping on one thing today, another one tomorrow, on same issue. So where do we stand? What kind of confidence do we have in him? And it's very, very worrying. Ghanaians must be listening to the tone. They must be listening to this ringtone coming from Bawumia. They must be listening to what MPP is selling to us. We must also even look at the deputy, so-called deputy, who is in Napo. Napo doesn't speak well. And we are not hearing about him because if he speaks now, there'll be scandal.
They have put a gag on him. There is a gag on
him. Cover him small.
Chairman, I want you to make a quick comment on the Bryan's statement. So, but before then, just like Mustafa Hamid said that the country Ghana right now is suffering, and we must save the country, inshallah.
It's sad. It's terribly sad. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved. I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallah, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
Mustafa Hamid said that the presidency has been so degraded. They've degraded the country. You need to save this country, inshallah.
At the time he was speaking years ago, he didn't know that this very words would come to haunt him. I know Mustafa as a very loud spokesperson, very good in communication.
The man has
That's why he was the information minister when this government came to power. But for some reason, they have to swap him for somebody else.
Chairman, the last topic is the one rolling now. We will use all means to win the elections. We have pastors, imams, traditionalists, Bryan Acheampong. So Bryan Acheampong is saying that they know that they didn't do anything for the people of Ghana, and the people of Ghana will not vote for them. And the only way, and by the way, this is not the first time. This is not the first time. This is not the first time that the MEP people are saying that they are going to call on celestial powers. They are going to call on spiritual powers to come and vote for them. And so I'm not surprised. I must say, from Mortey so at this point, Bryan Acheampong said that just 2 minutes. What is your take on this matter? He said they know that they'll try every means. They are going to call on pastors.
That is a faith matter. So you can decide to go to all the bokos and all the malams and all that you want to go. You can do that. That's about your faith. But practically, we're thinking about our stomach when we are hungry and things are not working well for us. No malam, no osofo, no pastor, either from the cathedral or whatever, will change our stomachs for us by telling us that forget about your stomach and then vote for MPP and Asa Baumia. No. That will not help. No prayer, no miracles can help us. But let me make it clear that I want to say with all due respect to Kingsley and your viewers that Bryan Acheampong is not learning. He's not learning. This patapa will not help him. There will be an end to the patapa. In Ghana, there's a saying in the cinema halls that Blomam Bagbo La Show. Normally, when we go and watch the Roman films, there is one person who is called the Blue Man, either King Kong, and then they are beating everybody and killing and all that. Before you are aware, that Blue Man is a person who dies at the tail end of the show.
Right.
So, in Accra cinema halls and many cinema halls, we have a certain phrase or slogan: Blue Man.
Malik, when Bryan Acheampong made this statement, Malik had a response for him. This is it. Malik said, "You will see fire and return power, just as you left street hotels." So, what he is saying is that the same fire that Bryan Acheampong saw and says, "As for the street hotel, please, I don't want to gain. I don't want again." That same fire is going to chase him in his dream, physically, spiritually, everywhere. Such that Basintele was saying that he's going to see the fire, that he will just say that, look, we don't want power again. Power, they don't even want it anymore.
Well, as soon as we said Kai, I heard Malik saying, as soon as he said Kai, and he ran away. So he withdrew before his girlfriend reached her climax, if I want to put it that way. So you see,
premature.
You'll be the first person to run away. He will be the first person. You have hotels, big hotels. When anything happens, remember, you will be at loss, not me, another person. So you should be talking with some kind of intelligence. You don't call for the patapa. When you say that we are not going to win or will not allow us to win, remember that you have a record. You have a record from Suhun, where you tried to become the parliamentary candidate, and you were killing, killing and beating people and harming people in your contest with your other colleague, the incumbent, then Opariansa, for the MPP seats over there. People died. You never won. Opariansa prevailed throughout. Then you have to run away back to Kwewu before you go to sit, because somebody passed on over there. And then you want to get a seat over there. You came to Ayawasu and look at you see everybody as if you are a field marshal from US as a commando. I'm the best commando. And then you go and do that in Ayawasu West and then claim it that yes, I did it. Appeared bold before the short commission and say, yes, I did it. Nanado couldn't do anything to you. Nobody, no investigation body, no, nothing. You are untouched. So it's gotten into your head. The day will mass up on you. You may live to see your hotels burnt into ashes. And who loses?
Thank you, Chairman.
And you can't know, you hear the experience. The what level depend, your one lances. On the Siadi Kana manner, or better make your Sembiamba. That's a few Morgana Hansoa. Get what level can be pano, and you will write dumb many man one that level can be done. Our experience, or some moon lances. It is a gun, your Petra Badia, and you are done many mama. John Mama, Ababio, Ababio. John Mama, Ababio, 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 John Mama, Ababio, 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 Missy John Mama, Ababio, Ababio.
You can't beat Mahama. Ah, now see me and Kase, my Kokase, we lost the election in 2022. Oh, yes. Yes.
So, yeah, so I think that we have had a good time today. We've had fun. I hope you guys had fun as well. I also hope that you got educated. With time, we will bring some of you guys in who want to come and join us. You will join us here. I'm grateful. My name is Kingsley, Komenda Elikem Mortey. For those of you whose names were announced, please post your number, send your number. You will get your support. I'm hoping and I believe God that we can be able to increase it. But stay with us. Keep faith with us. We will make it happen.
The nation builder Mahama, run up your work money. Mahama, 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 Organama 2, Mahani, Sukuwadai, hospitals, Aquapapa, Sagana Deya, Yebediye, Yahumba Oh, 1 million jobs, Mahama, Obabeyo, Obeye, Obeye, Organama 2, Mr. Lukoluko.
All right, we end today's program as well. I'm hoping that you will keep faith with the NDC. I'm hoping that you will get ready. Make sure that you don't misplace your ballot, your voter ID card. Keep it safe. Get ready mentally. Do not allow yourself to be used against the people of Ghana in this coming elections. December 7th is a defining moment. Our life, our existence depends on these coming elections. Don't lose hope in Ghana. There is so much that our country continues to offer us. Even though I was trying to look for Ghana's gold in the Olympics that is just ending, I have not seen gold. But Anna Mahama, inshallah, we will rescue this country and we will make sure that Ghana wins some gold. Ghana, I mean, we used to win gold, at least in soccer. I mean, you remember the time of Rodati Lamte, get Ghana gold, get Ghana Barcelona. We went there, we did very well, 1991, I believe. So stay with us. This country, Ghana, there is hope. Even though currently it doesn't look like it, but just stay with our country. I wish you well. We'll continue to talk on our various social media platforms. Thank you.